This is the study guide for world religions. Uh, Origins of the term religion. This is from Latin religare, to tie or bind together. Cults, that comes from the Greek word cultus, to care for, to worship. Elements and features of religion, uh, or their maps of meaning. They generally have God, spirits, forces. They're generally attributed to something mystical. Consciousness is a fundamental element of the world. Rituals, the practice of or moral teachings. How ought you to get into specific circumstances? Myths. This is going to be one of the questions. Myths, a story that teaches fundamental ideas. Primal religion, the original religions, our relation to nature. Eastern religions generally deal with our relation to the entire cosmos. Western religions, our relation to the end times, or our relation to linear history. Primal religion he refers to as the raw materials of religion. How do religions emerge out of primal religion or respond to primal religion? All this stuff with us, we've not graduated from anything in primal religion. So central features, animism, thinking about something as animate, though it is inanimate. Anima is Latin for life or alive, like the spirit of a mountain, Mount Fuji, or it being called Fujiyama or Fujisan. The idea that nature has power over you. He then skips ahead into Hinduism, it looks like. So he goes right to Shruti and Smriti, karma and samsara, Atman, Brahman, and moksha, and the darshan. Topics: distinguishing elements of religion in general, distinguishing features of primal religions, and then regarding Hinduism, legacy of ancient Indian societies, Indus River and Aryan, elements of ancient Vedic religion, the Upanishads, the system of moksha, karma, and samsara, variations in the philosophical schools, variations in caste, sex, and dharma, Hindu approach to the worship of gods, general features of the three sub-religions of Hindu devotion, the epics of the Bhagavad Gita, Gandhi, and the Hindu response to recent encounters with external influences, and then he gets into Jainism. So ancestor worship, very common in primal religions. There's often some kind of spirit world. This is generally accessed by a shaman, a medicine man or witch doctor. Ritual, sacrifices, ritual being the practice, sacrifices give something to the gods, so that will give something back to you or treat you with favor. Sacred spaces, totems, particular animals. So the birth of Indian religion is Hinduism. Hinduism equals people, so practices of the people. This is the Muslim definition, actually, but it's stuck. Eternal Dharma could be applied. So, Vaidika is the Dharma of the Vedas. Hinduism does not have very clear boundaries. Is there a unifying feature of Hinduism? You must adhere to the Vedas. What were the civilizations of Indus River and Aryan? The capital city was Harappa. It was around 40,000. Prototypes of Shiva and goddess worship. Shiva is signified by the lingam, a phalanx. Tigris and Euphrates rivers of the Mesopotamian cultures have echoes in modern Indian religion. In Hinduism, there is an emphasis on ritual cleanliness. People in the upper class are considered to be more ritually clean than the lower classes. The other civilization discussed is the Aryans, along with the Indus Valley. So Iran, Aryan, Ireland, Aryan. They moved into the Indus Valley around 1500 BCE, so a couple thousand years after there was already Hinduism being practiced. They had a language called Sanskrit. This was well formed. Sanskrit becomes the foundation of the Indo-European languages. They gave us the Vedas, and they weren't written down for thousands of years. These were only spoken. The Rig Veda is from about 2000 BCE. There is the Samaveda, the Yajur Veda, and the At-ura. The kind of scripture called Shruti, and he's going to want to know Shruti versus Smriti. So Shruti is what is heard or what is remembered. It's only spoken by a special group of priests. So then the Smriti would be what is allowed to be read and written down. The word heaven, Svarta, or atmosphere, the earth. Everything is held together by a force called Rita, which is the basis of right, R-I-T-E, right, Rita. The world should be ordered in such a way. The Atman, death, dying. Atman is death, dying, the last breath. You were the breath or spirit, the Atman, atmosphere. He gets into some of the gods. The origin stories are taken very seriously. The gods in Hinduism are in the ether of Hetman, the atmosphere and earth. Indra, sky god, war. Agni is fire. Varuna, the guardian of Rita, and then God Soma is uniquely Hindu. We have drunk the Soma. The gods are not transcendent. Sacrifice of Varusha, a giant carved into 4 parts. The head is the Brahman caste, the priest. So Atman, we covered. Atmosphere, godlike, the Atman. Oh, Atman, spirit, soul, death, dying. So now you get the Brahman. Brahman is the head, the breath. The Brahman are the priests. The shoulders and arms, the warriors and the administrators are the Kshatriya. The legs become the Vashya, the merchants, farmers and producers, and the feet are the Shudra, or the servants. Aryans believe the caste system is written into the order of the universe. The caste system is integral to Hinduism. The Vedas are a lot about ritual. Primal religion is focused a great deal on practicality. There is a kind of power in the ritualism of the Vedas. The power of Brahman is the type of force. You have to pay the priest, and they can be very expensive. People started looking at ritual with a lot of skepticism. In the actual age, 6th century BCE, this is going to come up a lot. Things turning on its axis. People started asking, what is the point of all this? The idea of reincarnation comes into play. The Indian word for reincarnation is samsara. Samsara equals the wandering, the forever wandering. Ways of thinking about samsara. Indra and the ants. There are more hymns to Indra than any other. Indra creates a palace for people to worship the achievements of Indra. So this is kind of like the Western narcissism and narcissist. Every single ant scuttling to a watermelon has done it for infinity. So reincarnation becomes all about how to escape the wheel of samsara. Karma is action versus consequence. What happens will always come back to you in a forever cosmic spiritual boomerang. You cannot escape karma like the stone in the pond. You can't complain about your current circumstances because you did it or asked of it for yourself. What you really want is no karma to get outside the wheel. There are 3 strands of Hindu practice. One is the way of wisdom, the jnana marga, the path or street of wisdom. This is only practiced by the elites. Source material is the Upanishads. So the Upanishads are for the elite. Shruti, what is heard, is the Vedas. Smriti is what is remembered. So the Dharma Shastras, these are the commandments basically, the laws of Manu. So Smriti, Dharma, Shastra, laws of Manu, what is remembered. Shruti, what is heard, the Vedas. The epics are Smriti, the most popular being the Bhagavad Gita, and the Dharmas, the stories about the gods. The Vedas are the most sacred. Upanishads are added later on. In Hindu philosophy, the Upanishad is sitting beside devotedly, so learning. And then you have the Atman versus the Brahman. Atman, what you are deep down. You are something beyond the physical and the conscious. The Brahman, what is fundamental reality. There's something beyond all that. Gravity, atomic particles. You can't really put a finger on it. Maya equals illusion. Shankara, Brahman, Nirguna Brahman. So Shankara is the person that believed. This is one of the splits. Sankara believed that the Brahman is Nirguna Brahman. So it has no attributes. You have no attributes. You are fundamental. You are fundamental reality. This is the Advaita Vedanta. One of the splits between Shankara and Ramanuja is the Saguna Brahman. Saguna Brahman is a God with attributes. You can love God. You cannot be God. There is just one self. I am not God. I want to taste the sugar. I cannot be the sugar. So Sankara Brahman is Nirguna Brahman of not having any attributes. Technically, in this space, you are the fundamental reality, which would be the same thing as God. Way of action is the Karma Marga. This derives from the Dharma Shastras, or the laws of Manu. Moksha is released from the wheel. That's going to come up definitely. Moksha is released from the wheel. Dharma is duty. What is your duty? Dharma, duty, is very caste sensitive. So the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas are twice born. The Shaidras are slaves. They're the feet. They are organized in a hierarchy of ritual purity. Dharma is gender sensitive. Guys can be a student, then a house lord, then a forest dweller, and then completely outside of society. A renunciant. A sumyasin, away from everything. Ladies, 3 stages, are under the care of men at all times. When they're girls, they're under the care of their dad. When they're wives, they're under the care of their husband. And once you become widowed, you're under the care of your sons. The sati is the window throwing herself onto a funeral pyre. There was, until the British Raj, human sacrifice in Hinduism. How do we escape the wheel? The Bhakti Marga, the way of devotion. How many gods are there? The Vedas have 33. There could be up to 330 million. It could be infinite. But there are the 3 main gods, the Trimurti. So this is Brahma, the creator god, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer or recycler. Darshav is being seen by the god. Puja is caring for the god. The Bhakti Marga, the Brahma, is not worshipped very much. Shiva worship is Shaivism. Vishnuism is Vishnu worship. Shaktism, the worship of the goddess. That takes multiple forms. Shiva as circle of fire, Lord of the dance. He's crushing the demon of ignorance. Vishnu's avatars are Rama and Krishna. Krishna is the Makma Brarata from the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is the charioteer in Bhagavad Gita. Shaktivism is married or signal. Parvati is the Shiva as wife. The unmarried are Kali and Durga. Those are the murderers, the human sacrificers. Thug comes from India. By day, they're normal workers, and by night, they subdue people for human sacrifice. Women provide the energy in India. The male provides the form and balance. So that's why unmarried women are seen as dangerous and mischievous and evil and murderous. The Durga was summoned to defeat the demon army. This is the main woman beheading god. Calcutta is named after Kali from the Bhakti Marga. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. So Maha, great. Tama, soul of one. He believed in civil disobedience. There is Hindu monotheism. Shaikism comes out of Hinduism. Mahatma Gandhi, the key ingredients of civil disobedience is non-violence. Ahimsa is the Hinduism is the source of the Indian religion. Ahimsa is nothing is fair game. emerges from the 6th century. Mahavira, great hero. He was born to the Kshatriya caste. Ahimsa, I have to look up one more time to get, it's just not there, exposed. Asceticism is exposing yourself to extreme harshness to attain moksha. Mahavira achieved moksha and escaped the wheel. He's the founder of Jainism. So jiva is the soul. Ajiva is the body or material stuff. So the Jains divide their population into monks and laity. They avoid violence to any living thing. Truth-telling is very important. No attachment to anything. Take nothing that isn't given to you. No hanky-panky. This is for the monks. The more liberal variety for the laity is Svetambra, or the white robes. They have the Digambra, the sky-clad. They're naked. Women cannot achieve moksha. It's an urban religion. The noblest way to die is to starve to death.